Miss Pat, are you there?
I'm here, San.
Let me send you this screen. Here you go. We want to welcome you guys. Thank you once again. It is chicken noodle soup warmed over. And this is what a little bit off of what we talked about this morning, and then giving you guys a little bit extra the value that we hope you see in what we're doing. And we just want to help somebody learn some techniques, some skills to take it to another level. I always say it's the skills that pay the bills, and that's what we're going to give to you guys today. So I'm sending this screen to Miss Pat, and she can get it started. Here you go, Miss Pat.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Guys, I think, and ladies and gentlemen, I think most of you know that we had initially started out with a follow-up to Ann and Burdell's calls on Monday, where we would provide, the people who were newbies to Opportunity Launch some training as to what to do next. And as it turns out, most of the people who were on our call on Tuesday happened to be folk who were already well introduced to Opportunity Launch. And San and I had a little tete-a-tete, had a talk, and I said maybe a better idea would be just to make it chicken noodle soup warmed over. So on Tuesday nights now, what we're going to do is maybe bring some tips and little treats to you all about network marketing or just marketing online. So what I found was an article about the common online marketing mistakes that are made by networkers and how to avoid them. And that's what I'd like to present tonight to you all. That having been said, here we go. Common online marketing mistakes and how to avoid them. Uh, it's easy to get sidetracked when it comes to online marketing. There are so many distractions, but the truth is online marketing is super effective. Number one, if you know what you're doing. Number two, if you do it consistently. And number three, if you then measure the results. So to make sure that your marketing is as good as it can be, here are some common marketing mistakes that you'll want to avoid. Number one, you want to know that not building a consistent brand across all platforms is a mistake. When you build a business, it's vital that you take the time to build a brand that speaks to who you are as a business person or business. That having been said, you want to create your mission statement, you want to create your vision for your business, identify who you are and what you stand for. You also want to identify who your ideal client is. That helps you to frame the messages that you send out, the articles that you write, the type of ads that you actually create. And lastly, what it is that you can do for your clients. What's your purpose? What solution do you have for their challenges or for their problems? And as you are branding yourself, you want to be consistent across all marketing platforms. That means if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you're on LinkedIn, wherever you are, online, offline, you want to be consistent with your branding. The words that you use, your colors, your products, your services, and even your actions. For example, if I said to you the word Twitter, immediately what would come to your mind is certain words associated with it, tweet, retweet. The colors would come to your mind, your imagination, the products, and the service, and even what actions take place when you hear the word Twitter. Marketing used on different platforms such as social media, your website, and even your offline marketing should be quickly recognizable. If I were to say to you Coca-Cola, bam, you would be able to see the logo. You'd be able to even identify for us the actual message, the jingle that they actually have. If I were to say to you Toyota, you know that that represents as a company reliability in terms of cars. Mercedes, prestige. If I were to say to you Volvo, what's easily recognizable is the V. But not only that, you know that safety is what it stands for. It's recognizable across all platforms. The second common mistake of online marketing is not to watch your competition closely. No matter how small of a business that you have, researching your competition can be informative and lucrative. I'll share this with you. When I was with Total Life Changes, and I knew all of the intricacies associated with that particular company. I knew my products, mainly the weight loss products. But then when I decided to leave to go to another company, I had to find out about my competition. Even while I was in Total Life Changes, I had to identify who was the competition. And having known that, what I could do is find out what my competition services to the various audiences happen to be, what the people liked about my competition and what they didn't like about it, how they deliver their products and their services, including what type of quality they produce. And all of this information can be used to help you become better marketer and better aware of what your challenges are when you are marketing online. And for me, even being able to choose an alternative to Total Life Changes became a decision that I could make because I looked at the marketplace and I could see what X company had, what Y company had, what Z company had, and I could do my comparisons and my contrast and come up with the best solution for Patricia Ann. The third marketing mistake is focusing on the wrong goals or not even knowing your goals. So when you're starting any marketing campaign, it's important, it's imperative that you really understand what your goals are. Not only that, you have to be specific about your goals. If they're not measurable or attainable in the very first place, then you're setting yourself up for failure. So you need to be able to see what your goal is. How do I identify if I've achieved my goal? Is my goal too unreasonable or too far-fetched? Or am I reaching too low? So you need to assess what it is you're doing in terms of your marketing. You want to spell out every result you hope to obtain from every action. Your fourth common mistake is not creating a sales page that converts. The beauty of Opportunity Launch is that we have these capture pages available to us. They're not in the truest sense a sales page, but it can be made into that in that we could have our outside page which would capture the information, and once they do the registration on the inside page is where we could elaborate on what we are offering as our as our product or as our service. But here's what I want to say to you. So many people have wonderful products, they have wonderful services, but what they forget to think about is, I got to find a way of setting up a sales page. They skip that process altogether. And some MLMers just leave it up to the company that they have for, actually presenting their product by way of the company or the corporate website. And that's not what we should be doing. We need to take special care with setting up a sales page. The sales pages help you to do two things. Number one, to target the right information to the right prospects and to let them know about the benefits or the value of your products and your services. And secondly, the sales page is designed to explain that you know their pain points, you know what their challenges are, and you actually know how to fix them. Now, my intention here is to let you know that that sales page is designed to help your prospect to solve their problems. And I think Marcus even said it in one of his presentations, and we always say it during our trainings, that you want to identify what the problem is, and then you want to offer your prospect a solution to their problem. I am not going to talk about the sales page in detail because I don't have enough time, first and foremost. That's not the platform for it right now. But when you're talking about a sales page, there's so many things that have to be included therein. You've got to have an effective headline. You have to have testimonials in it. You need to have videos. You need to be pointing out the benefits of your product or your service. You need to include a money-back guarantee if there is one. Maybe it's a 30-day, maybe it's a 5 or a 7-day return on the funds. You need to identify that, and you need to have your call to action sections in your sales page. But what I want to do tonight is only capitalize on one aspect of that sales page, because I do believe that this will help you when you go back and you start doing your blogs, number one, and also your capture pages. So I found this article, How to Create a Sales Page That Converts, by Ogle. And he said there is nothing more than a good headline. And we know that via the newspaper. We know it by way of magazines. If you've ever stood in line at a Safeway or a giant food store, you know that they have the, what do they call them, the rags, like the Inquirer. You have People magazine, and it's the title of the article or the headline on the front page of that magazine that makes you pick it up, and you're prompted to want to read that article while you're standing waiting for, the checkout in the line. So the good headline is what is of grave importance when you're writing your blog, when you're doing your sales page, when you're doing a capture page. What Ogle says is this: oftentimes new marketers will just rush through this part of the process. They'll come up with something either that's super generic, and what he means simply by that is you see the same old headlines over and over again when you look at some of the capture pages out there. And some of them are super boring, so boring in fact that you put them aside, or you just click of the mouse and you've gone to something else. So what we want to talk about is this: an effective headline and how it should be designed to get the prospect to read the next line. So if you're able to pique their interest and get them to read on, then you have actually accomplished one of the most difficult parts of marketing. You have gotten your prospect's attention. So descriptive and to the point headlines will help people get excited about having a problem solved, which will make them more likely to do one of three things: to bookmark it, your page, or to share it, or even to engage in the reading of your print material. Ogle suggests that when you're creating your headlines, you want to keep the following guidelines in mind, and you'll greatly increase the chances of someone reading the rest of what you have to say. Ogle says that 9 out of 10 of his top posts have started with the words "how to." I want to remind you that this morning we talked, and I believe it was Igor who made mention of the how to video. I know that when I did my overview of the blog, I said to you one of the most popular blogs that you would want to create is the how-to blog. Why? Because first and foremost, Google loves that kind of thing because it sends to their search engines, or it sends to the search engines that you're providing valuable information to the readership. So the how-to video, the how-to blog will always have great appeal. So here's some examples. We have how to quit your day job. I know I would want to read on if I were doing a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4. How to be one who proves everyone wrong. Wouldn't that invite you to want to read on? I think so. Another one is this: basic training. How to start your business before you start your business. Very intriguing. but a how-to manual. How to launch a drop shipping business in a day. Total cost, $29. Now, I think I would want to read that. But the nature of these topics would invite persons to uh, read on, or click the mouse, or even opt in to a capture page. Another effective headline includes where you've got a blank ways to blank. An example of that would be this: 10 ways to start a lifestyle business today, even if you have no ideas. Another one, 40 easy ways to make money quickly. Top 10 ways to make money online with integrity. I really like this one. I took this one from How. This guy is really a great provider of information on the net. But I love this one. 10 ways to make money online, not just making it, but quickly, but with integrity. Kind of zeroes in on an aspect of making money online. Ogle says that another way to create your headline is to use lists. He said those work out great. So some examples would be this: 80 best golf resources, okay? Great for a blog, by the way. 64 tools I use to work from anywhere. Now, if you wanted to give information to your readership by way of a sales page, how important would that be if you were interested in working a home-based business where you could work it from outside of the confines of a workspace, outside of the home? This is somewhere you can use tools anywhere you go. 9 secrets you must know about entrepreneurship before leaving your job. Great topic. Then I love this part of Ogle's article, you all, because he gives us what's called the magic formula for a killer headline. He said the litmus test that Ogle uses, the litmus test that Ogle uses for all of his headlines, whether it's a sales page, a blog post, or an email. So all of these three are intertwined. What will work for the sales page can work for the blog post. It can work for an email headline as well. He learned this from Dane Maxwell, who's a serial entrepreneur and a master copywriter. These guys who do copywriting, they make bank. And they also have classes or courses that you can take online, how to become an effective copywriter. There's all kinds of information out there to help you improve your skills at creating headlines or print media. But the guy gives this, the magic formula for a killer headline. Here's the formula. You're going to have an outcome the reader wants, plus a time frame, plus an objection that's handled. Now, what I want you all to do now is go back and think of some of the capture pages that you've seen that you have to opt in. Now, I have a safe list, and Ramon laughs about all the emails that I have in my Gmail account, and it's for a reason. Those safe lists, I get tons of, responses I'm supposed to click on for a certain amount of seconds, and then I get a certain number of points, and then I can do my ad on that particular safe list. But my Gmail account gets overwhelmed by these responses. But when I go through and I click those links, I am bombarded with sales pages after sales page after sales page after sales page. And I'm going to tell you, the ones that are really effective have always been those that have these kinds of this three formulaic message: an outcome the reader wants, a time frame, and an objection that is handled. Excuse me for kind of mumbling like. If you have one of these, Ogle says, it's a good headline. If you've got 2 of them, it's a great headline. If you've got all 3, he said, you have a headline that is impossible to ignore. Now let's take a look at it. Here's an example of one. Make $1,000 in extra income in 3 months, even if you have a full-time job. Now, I know I would want to click on. The outcome, if we dissect it, the outcome that the reader wants is to make $1,000. The time frame that he's given his readership or his prospect, 3 months. And then he offers the objection, because you know there's going to be somebody out there that says, make $1,000 in extra income in 3 months? You got to be kidding. So what becomes essential here is that we address that objection. I got a full-time job, but guess what? I can still make that money in 3 months. Very effective headline. Here's another one. Purchase your dream house in 90 days with no money down. The outcome that this reader wants is to purchase his dream house. The time frame, 90 days. And I don't have a dime to my name. How am I going to buy my dream house? Guess what? You don't need any money. Great headline. Here's another one. TLC, Total Life Changes. I have a blog out there, I do believe, like this. But I know that there have been good gobs of pages, sales pages that have begun with this title, How to Lose 5 Pounds in 5 Days Without Dieting. Here's what the outcome the reader wants: to lose 5 pounds. The time frame, 5 days. This is instant weight loss. And the objection, listen, I don't want to go dieting. I don't want to do all of that crazy stuff. But guess what? With this particular product that I have, you don't have to go on a serious diet regimen. So this is the formula for creating the effective headline. Hope you like that. We come to number 5, registering your domain for only a year. Now, I'm going to say to you, Patricia is guilty of this, and I am going to make amends. But when you choose a domain name for your business, the longer you register it for, the more legitimate your business will appear to be to the search engines. I didn't know that until I did this research. Next, when you do it only for a year at a time, it can create a problem of trust. Plus, you get a discount for doing it longer. GoDaddy has get your site, I think, for like $1.99, $2.99 for the first year, and the second year maybe $12.99, something like that. But the discount comes for the first year, and the subsequent year you pay full price. But it's for a 2-year stint. Now, this is because people are going to be more trusting of domains that are registered for a longer period of time. And I need you to know that there is a way that anybody can check out who a domain belongs to, unless, of course, you pay for becoming, anonymous, or I don't know what word I want to use, but you can have your domain unpublished. That's what I want to use. Okay. Number 6 is avoid list building. Now we know so many people will loudly declare, these are the old people who say, they've been in network marketing for a long time, and they declare, you don't have to do email marketing, it's dead. It's also for the newfangled folk who want to think that marketing on Facebook and on Instagram and stuff like that is the cat's meow. They don't think that email marketing is essential. But we know that it is important as a marketing strategy online, based on what we've been doing with the training with Ramon Escalera on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. So nothing could be further from the truth. Email marketing is essential to the very success of any online marketing endeavor that you could embark upon. Number 7 is not measuring your performance. It's important that you do that. And what do I mean by that? No matter how great your plans are, if you don't know whether what you're doing is working or not, you're just shooting in the dark. You know, you need to shine a light on every action that you take to be sure that you get a good or a satisfactory return on your investment. So to help you to determine if the actions you're taking are getting the best results that you desire, you want to use some tools that are peculiar to or inherent in each platform that you're using. For example, on Facebook, there's the Facebook Analytics. If you're going to run an ad on Facebook, you know that they can do the tracking for you. You can also determine who your audience is, the age, the geographical locale, all kinds of demographics associated with the Facebook advertisement. Secondly, I want to tell you I have a Facebook um, fan page, and I created it for Total Life Changes. I have over 500 plus likes to it, never advertised it, never promoted it, never did anything, but people were looking for it and they found it. And the irony of it is, even though I'm not in Total Life Changes anymore, I still get a weekly report on how my Facebook fan page is doing. And I have to tell you, when I was really working it, I could see the ups, I could see the downs. Many people, actually visited my page, how engaging it was. But now all I see is a downward trend because I'm not posting, I'm not engaging my audience. But nonetheless, what is good about it all is I have some kind of tracking mechanism on Facebook to let me know how well I'm doing. You also have Google Analytics. Now, Google Analytics is a free web analysis service that you have, and it will help you to evaluate your customers' behavior. It will let you know where the visitors came from. It will let you know how long they stayed on a particular site or how long they viewed your ad. That you can go in Google and take a look at. You also have Blogger. Blogger, if you're doing a blog, there's statistical data that you can access, and it will tell you who your audience is. It will tell you your traffic sources, where they came from. It will tell you your page views. Last Wednesday, when I did my presentation on WordPress, I also showed you that there's a statistics that you can access there as well. The audience, the traffic sources, the page views, etc. And then you can also do what Ramon has suggested to you on one occasion, to do what's called split testing. You can do that with your Facebook ads, where you put them on, or your post certain times of the day. Your email marketing, you do a split test. You do it certain time to see how this particular ad worked in the AM, and then the same ad may have worked in the PM or at certain times during the day, or you can switch up the ad altogether. But the whole point in my messaging here is to say to you, you need a way to know what's working effectively for you and what is not working effectively. And then you need to do an assessment, and then you need to make changes accordingly. My eighth and final marketing mistake is using free websites and email addresses. This morning we talked about getting things for free, and I think Renita made a very profound statement. Yes, we do want to have access to free tools. We must, but at some point or another, the gurus tell us that we have got to invest. We have got to spend money in order to make our businesses more professional and to make it more polished. So I'm not promoting any websites, but there are plenty out there that you can join. You want to be taken seriously as a business owner. You've got GoDaddy, you have Bluehost, you have HostGator, and those are only a few. But what you really want to do is to purchase some hosting where you can self-host your own website. That way you don't become a victim of an entity that may, in fact, go on a fritz. It may disappear overnight. I think I've shared with you about the blogging platform that I had at one time, it's no longer in business. So all of the blogs there are gone. Okay, but if you have your own self-hosting website, then it's up to you to pay your bill. The other beauty of it is with GoDaddy and with those other hosting networks, you are able to have your own personalized email address, and it sets you up as a professional. Now, I'm not saying don't use free email addresses. I have so many Gmail accounts, I think my head could swim. I don't even remember what the actual passwords are. Not saying don't have free email addresses to use for your mailing list, to use them for your marketing. Absolutely, you would want to do so. But when it comes to communication between you and your customers, you should have a professional email address that people are positive, they're absolutely sure that it comes from your business. So in conclusion, I want to say simply this. There are common online marketing mistakes that not only can cost you just a few dollars here and there, but can cost you your entire business. Any questions? Any comments? Sam?
Miss Pat, I don't see any comments or questions, but we can open it up. If are you at the end?
Yes, I just wanted to give those for just some tips for the night. I hope that
Okay.
it provided insight for some.
Yeah, I'm just gonna open it up, and they if they have any questions, Miss Pat. All right, you guys, your mics are open. If you want to, you can unmute yourself.
You have not retired from teaching.
Uh, we muted that conversation. All right, you guys. They are on mic. If you have any questions, Miss Pat is looking for your questions or comments.
Hey, Pat, this is Sherry. That was awesome. Thank you.
Sherry?
Yeah.
Hi, Sherry. Thank
Hi,
you.
how are you? That was
Okay,
great.
great. Was that
We're
helpful to
rattling.
many?
I think so.
Yes, Pat, Miss Pat, this is Ann.
Hi, Ann.
Listen, what's the difference between a mission statement and a vision statement?
Well, you know what, Ann? Sometimes they become one and the same. When I look at Marcus's, have you seen Marcus's vision statement?
Yeah, yes.
Um, the the vision is like projection into, well, I don't know. I just see them almost as being the same. But your
Okay.
mission is what your purpose is
Yes.
in creating your business.
Mm-hmm.
Visionary, same kind of thing, but it seems to be a little more far reaching and loftier in thoughts and ideas. I don't know if that makes sense because it's so much of a what do you call a thin line between the two. And so a lot of times what you'll see is that people will just put a mission statement and their objectives, if you will, what their purpose is in doing X, Y, and Z. And the mission and the vision are sometimes intertwined there.
Okay,
But
and would the mission statement or vision, whichever one between the two of them, or however it's combined, to one, would it be considered to be written like kind of short, like 2 to 3 lines, or just to say what you need to say, or a paragraph, or and should it
I
be
think
used in, let's say, in every, should you have that at the top of your, let's say, header, like if you had a letterhead, would that be something you would post on your blog as your header?
well, I've seen that about me section, Ann,
Uh-huh.
as an area where people have elaborated on their vision what their vision, what their mission is, what they propose to accomplish. Let me see if I can
Okay.
something real
Yeah,
fast.
I think
Sam, do
I've
you
seen
have
that
anything you
too.
could add to that? Or
$1,000
anybody? I'll take the audience.
the price will go up.
I don't know. They're unmuted. Dale, John, you guys are there.
And
Yes.
it's saying on Wikipedia that the mission statement is one that just communicates the purpose of the organization.
Yeah,
Right, as
just
But
you
tell
most of
said.
the time, it remains the same for a
what
long
is your
period
mission?
of time.
You know, tell them what your
Um,
mission description.
What description is.
Yeah.
Okay.
mission statement. And the vision, I think, is just loftier, a loftier notion of your mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's you might want to refer
But
to
because if you look here, and everybody who's with me, if you can see my screen, even here as it offers the definition of a vision statement, it says that it's a declaration of an organization's objectives. Ideally, whenever you said ideally, it's looking at the perfection. Ideally based on what? Economic
Economic
foresight,
I mean, it's not
futuristic,
guaranteed.
intended to guide, decision making, all of that. And sometimes there's like almost a blur. Well, let's do it this way. He says a mission statement is intended to clarify the what and who of a company, but a vision statement adds the why and how as well. So we'll use that. And
Okay.
they're saying a mission statement is intended to clarify the what and the
And
who of a
who?
company.
Mm-hmm.
And the vision adds the why and the how.
How? Mm-hmm.
I like that. So, I mean,
Okay.
I've seen a paragraph for either one of them. I don't think it has to be all great and detailed. Now, if you were doing something for, they have, if I wanted to go to the SBA, the what is it, the Small Business Administration,
Right.
I know full well that if they're asking me for a vision or a mission statement, I better have it outlined, I better have it detailed, and I better have it as specific as possible in order to get that grant. But for my
Right.
blog, I'm thinking that I would want it to be a paragraph maybe that would state what my mission is, what my vision is, what my
Okay.
objectives are, what is my purpose.
Okay. Okay. So that would be a good spot to use it on a blog in your About Me section.
Yes.
Other
But you know
than
what, Ann?
other than just
I've also seen people have it as an article within the blog where they have actually
oh, okay.
written, and that's why, as a matter of fact, those of you who were on the call on Wednesday, I think I shared with you that about page, and I was saying to you all at that time that you might want to fill it out with information about you. Generally speaking, when people do that, they are going to identify what their intent or what their purpose in life, what their mission in life happens to be.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else have any questions for Miss Pat?
You can help me.
Ah,
Where did it go? I just had it. Shoot. I just found a comparison on that too, Pat, on a
Who's that,
mission
Sherry?
statement.
Sherry?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
I put the link in the chat. Mission statement. It says here it's difference.com, and I googled it, and it said mission statement talks about how you will get to where you want to be, defines the purpose and primary objectives related to your customer needs and team values, and in a vision statement outlines where you want to be, communicates both the purpose and values of your business.
Right.
And it
And
has a whole
Sherry,
Go ahead.
that's outstanding. But if you look right here at this article that we just quoted, it's almost the inverse of what you just said. What they call the vision, this one is called the mission, and what is called the mission is called the vision. And I think that
fun.
if you take a look at it, it's almost like there's such a fine line. I think what I'll do for homework for tomorrow is to come up and present that on the platform before I do my blog, and maybe put it in the in your Facebook page, saying
Right.
creating your vision statement. And I'll take a look at your link as well, Sherry. Can you put it in my Facebook box, please?
Oh, I could do that. You chat on Facebook? Sure,
Thank you.
no problem.
All right. All
Oh,
right.
thanks, Sherry. Thank you so
Oh,
much,
you're
Sherry.
welcome. Oh,
Great
I,
Stan, I have a quick question for you. When I'm on the webinar sometimes because I'm at work a lot of times, so sometimes I'm always muted because I'm on the phone because I'm using up way too much data, so I'm trying not to use up as much data being on the phone, so I can't see it. But you don't have the option to unmute those.
Nah, there is a call-in pin that you can call in. If you call in
Yeah,
on the where the audio
Oh, yeah.
pin,
With
right.
the
But you
audio
can't.
pin.
But you can't *6 it. It doesn't unmute.
this is not free conference call or anything like this. This is go to webinar. So
Oh,
there's no
okay.
star
That's funny.
six or anything like that.
Oh, see.
There is a number. There is an audio pin that you have to put in to be able to do that, or there is a number whenever we get ready to have a webinar. We can give you that number, specific number, where it'll be automatically unmuted. You just have to mute yourself, unmute yourself at that time.
Oh, okay.
Some people's phone, when they call in, it automatically mutes them. So we do. There's another number, and I mean, if you need it, just get with me, and I can give you that number, and you can use that to
Oh,
call in.
okay.
But to let you guys know,
Yeah.
you know, I get where is the link? It's the same link that we had this morning. It changes every 30 days. The link will change. And I know a lot of you people say, well, I don't know when the 30 days is up. I know you don't. But there is a place that you can always find the link. And it's
Right.
in Opportunity Launch Team Official Team Bill File section. It's always there. Ain't going to never change. Then if you're in Paid Daily Lifestyle, it's in there as well. So you guys have points of reference. Look, we got to grow in this business. I can't hold your hand forever. I can't keep on babysitting you. You guys, let's grow up and become mature marketers. Okay? So I'm putting out the information, and for some reason you're not absorbing it. It's in the groups.
Right on.
All the information. You don't have to ask me, is there a meeting tonight? We are having a meeting unless you see a post that says we're not. If you don't see me on at that time, then there is something going on. There's something wrong. Trust me. I will be there. If nobody else is there, me and Miss Pat gonna sit there and look at each
I
other
get
all
paid.
night
Yeah.
long for a period of time. You guys, we want to get y'all into a mindset to know this is what we do, and we're not changing because other stuff around us changes. That's your lifestyle. That's not ours. When you get a reason to lay down, you lay down. We don't do that. We continue to go, and we continue to do. We continue to move on with the mission. So, Miss Sherry, I will look into the programming and send you that. And anybody else that needs those
Thank you.
codes for the, if you're going to be calling in a lot, then you do want the code to where you can just call in without being muted, because the system automatically mutes you if you call in on that number that we
Right.
have. So appreciate that, Miss Sherry.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. Anybody
I
else?
got one question.
What's going on, Lonnie?
How you doing? This has been so good, man.
Man,
Um,
Miss Pat be killing it, right? I tell you.
I'd make good grades if she was my
If she was your
teacher.
teacher, yes.
Yeah, my
I ain't
teacher.
lying.
So
I ain't
could
lying.
we could we kind of, now that I've been doing OPL, I realize I need to redo my profiles and those things in LinkedIn and Facebook. And so how would you do the mission and the vision in writing your profile?
Miss Pat?
Just to overview, some thoughts.
What would I Are you asking me?
Yes.
Okay. This is what I would do. I would I would create an outline, and I would identify what my three goals and objectives are in being a network marketer, if that's what your mission is, to become an effective one, what your mission and goals happen to be, who you plan, well, I'm talking off the top of my head, but the first one is your own goals and objectives. Your second one perhaps would center on what your mission is. How do you plan to help? Um, and right now, Lonnie, I want to say this. There's going to be, as I'm brainstorming right now, you may want to go, everybody, and separate it into categories, be it mission or be it vision, accordingly. But you want to keep in mind, you have to identify who the people are that you hope to help. Okay? Who is it? Who is your niche market? Who are you gearing your efforts and your energies towards? Some people may be only interested in working with kids who are, and I hate to use the word kids, children who are preteen to 21 or 24 years old. If your mission is to go out and empower them as young entrepreneurs, then you understand that your mission statement and your vision may even change. So identifying who your audience is critically important. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes, that makes sense. I'm
Maybe
writing.
maybe Anne had a glorious idea. Her blog is for menopausal women. So, Anne, here becomes the question for you. What is my purpose in writing for, or what is my mission statement as it comes to dealing with menopausal women? What do I plan to do? Do I plan to, is one of my objectives to see a way in which I could get them medical support, get them financial assistance, because we know that there's some, even to give them alternative medicine in order to deal with the hot flashes that they may
Yes.
have, the
Yes.
psychological challenges that they may have. So
Yes.
here you'll have to frame for yourselves what your niche market is and how you plan on meeting the challenges that they have. Remember in my presentation tonight, I said that you want to identify what the challenges are that this group has or your marketplace has, and then you want to identify how you can provide solutions for them. And inherent in that will become your mission statement and your vision statement. So sometimes when I was teaching, I said, sometimes what you've got to do, you have to go backwards. You have to work from, the back and then go forward. Or some people can start at the very beginning and then move towards, the future. Uh, I don't know what your reference is, but I always encourage my students, and every textbook will tell you the same, that you want to begin with a plan. You want to outline what it is that you want to say and fill it in as you go along. You will also find that anything that you do is going to be a work in progress. So what you write today may blossom into something else next week, but you have to always put pen to paper and begin it. You have to begin it. You have to begin somewhere. Otherwise, you become what is called a procrastinator, okay? And in writing, we had to get students to understand that what you write in your first draft will never be your final, your final write. revision takes place over and over and over again. You just think about the guy that did the light bulb. He didn't come up with it right off the break. It took him thousands of tries in order to come up with the patented version of what we know as the light bulb. The same is true with writing. The same is true with blogging. It's not anything that you get overnight. When I was in Empower Network, and I am a seasoned teacher of English, of grammar, mechanics, etc., I was afraid to write because I didn't know what to write. But then I said, now listen, I'm a part of MCA. I know about my product. All I need to do is write about the benefits of being a member of MCA. And that was basically my first article. And what triggered my writing, it was Memorial Day. And I remember when I was traveling back and forth across Bay Bridge, and I had a flat tire on Bay Bridge. Didn't have anybody to come to my rescue, but had I had MCA, I never would have had to deal with the challenge of driving across Bay Bridge on a flat tire. You understand? So, I mean, certain things happen and you get that energy, you get that drive, but I'm paying $25 a month for, I cannot tell you how long, just the fear of writing or just not wanting to put pen to paper. And I had to face it. I said, come on now, I can do this. And I began with my outline, I wrote it, and there it was.
Wow.
I have a question. Was that helpful?
Yes, it was. It was helpful for me.
I'm going to say this, unless you all respond to me, I'm thinking that I'm not making sense to you. So if you could just tell me it's helpful or,
Yes,
I mean,
yes, it was.
Very good.
Oh, I'm taking notes now.
Very helpful, Pat.
But everything begins with a plan. Even your marketing needs to begin with a plan. You need to look at yourselves as being draftsmen, architects. An architect, if I asked Mr. Smith, a famous architect will say, and I said, listen, guy, I'm getting ready to build my dream house. I'm getting ready to buy my dream house in 90 days, and I'm not using any money of my own. Can you design it for me? You think Mr. Smith is going to go there and just throw something up haphazardly for me, or is he going to begin with a blueprint first? There's a blueprint. There's a plan first. And that plan is approved. That plan, well, I'm going to say it this way. That plan, that blueprint began at a first stage. He brought it to me. He said, well, how do you like this, Patricia? And I say, I don't want my bedroom here. I want it over the loft, or I want it in the loft, or whatever. He's got to go back. He's got to redesign, because every blueprint will never be. And you can go to the U.S. Patent Office and look at the blueprints that are there, where people have gone through. They have a first draft, they have a second, they have a third, they have a fourth. We are no different. We are all works in progress, and that's what our writing becomes. That's what our mission statement becomes, because as human beings, stuff happens to us, and we have to go back and we have to rewrite, we have to readdress the situation. We've got to revamp, and this is what Sam is saying about today. We're not going to quit. We just have to go back and calibrate everything. And we have to always have our plan B, our plan C. We've got to be able to shift gears. And the same thing is true when you're designing your plan for your business or for anything else. I hope I made sense.
Yes, you did, Miss Pat. And what I would add to that about making sure you have a plan, I can use my little story. About 2 weeks ago, I had got restricted on Facebook, and I consider myself to be very active on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, you got all kind of people, your stuff is going out public. So somebody's annoyed with seeing too much of this pretty lady's face, and so they just end up, they end up, reporting me or whatever. But however, when they restricted me for 2 weeks, I was like, oh, I said, my marketing don't stop. I
Yes.
says, I have to shift gears. And what it made me do, it forced me to go to Google Plus, create me 2 communities over there, and activate them and get my communities going on Google Plus.
Right.
Okay, because I'm saying I'm putting all this time and energy into my capture pages, and oh, so what am I supposed to do? Sit here with my arms folded and just say, oh well, I can't do no work today because Facebook done shut. No, I don't think so. Facebook is not the only sheriff in town.
Right.
Okay, and there's so many platforms out here on the internet, so it really makes no sense for a person to just outright be just stuck. You're not going to get stuck, so you have to have a plan of action of some type. And that also led me to creating me a spreadsheet with Google community groups. The ones I joined 9 of them, and I
Hmm.
created 2. Okay.
Congratulations.
Right. So then I put on my spreadsheet the community name, the post date, the date that I made a post in that group, in that community rather, and then I have a column for my comments. Now, some people may think, oh, you got to do all that. You got to keep a clipboard for this paper, for this sheet, where you go. You better have yourself organized because you're not going to remember all of this stuff in your head, even when it comes down to passwords. I mean, I'm old school in one way with when it comes to when they say we working towards a paperless community or era or whatever you want to call it, generation. But I have to have a printer and I have to have paper because I will print out something in a minute and make me a hard copy of it and then put it in a folder so that I can get to it. Okay. Wonder if something gets stuck with my computer. Oh, all my stuff is on my computer. I done lost everything. Now I don't know what to do. Well, I made me a little cheat sheet with all my passwords because you're not going to remember. You're not going to remember those passwords and usernames. You accumulate so many of them over the years, okay, of being in this industry online, doing all this online stuff, and it just gets to be overwhelming. So you have to organize and plan. So I couldn't agree with you more with that, Ms. Pat. Thank you.